What's the feeling of the team going into game 2?
Yeah, we want to bounce back and play better. I mean, we talked about it this morning. We expect to have a better start and just kind of rate through, just perform at a higher level, execute, be more intense. So, we'll look forward to that challenge tonight.
At a personal level, what's your approach to the start of games? How do you get yourself kind of going?
I mean, I think we're all different. It's just a matter of, trying to put yourself in that mental state where you're ready to go, and I think that's different for everybody. For me, it's just, I want to go out there and execute, skate, play well positionally, and then, when the game starts, just kind of takes over from there. And, you do work, this morning, you do work the day before the game to put yourself in that spot to be able to perform.
What's your reaction to the Michael Bunting suspension, and not the first time you guys have gone through this a playoff time?
Yeah. I don't have any reaction towards it. It is what it is. It's over with now. It's about us and, how we respond and how we move forward and, who's going to accept more responsibility and play those minutes. But I don't have any feelings towards it. It's just something that you accept, you move on, and you deal with.
Surprised by the length, though? 3 games?
I don't have any feelings. I don't understand how that gets made. I don't understand the process of it. I wasn't on the call, so I don't have any feelings or opinion towards it.
It's a key guy out of the lineup, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But, we got guys that can come in and play. So, we're not going to worry about it. We're going to worry about what we can do to play without him and, who's going to step up and take that responsibility. It's an amazing opportunity for somebody. So.
Weirdly enough, does a guy like you or some others who were around that draw and when Kadri was suspended in those series was through?
I don't think so, honestly. I think, it's a different situation, a different team, a different player. So for us, again, we're not going to spend any time thinking about it. It's just a matter of what we can do now to prepare and to be ready to play tonight and then obviously moving forward.
Morgan, they're not going to have Chernak Hedman's a game time decision. How important is it to get zone time and to put pressure on their defense, which is obviously depleted?
Yeah, I think even against a group that's entirely healthy, that's important. I mean, that's one of the cool things about a playoff series is that, it's kind of a long-term investment. You're playing each other, every other day, until there's a winner. So, that kind of wear and tear, that offensive zone time, that, relentless pressure that you're able to put on your opponent, ultimately does take a toll on them. And, I mean, you want to win that battle. Both teams are trying to play offensive zone time and, control the pace of play, control the puck. And, you want to win that battle between the two teams. And, that does play a role in the playoff series to a certain extent.
What have you learned about Matt Nyes? What stands out most to you about the kid?
Big kid, good athlete, strong. He's got confidence coming in here after, having a great college year. And I think he's done well just kind of fitting in. We had a chance to bring him in on the road. And then, I think not playing last game was a chance for him to, just get, a bit more comfortable around here and everything. So if he draws in or, however that takes shape, he's in a position where he feels good about his game, as he should. And, he's played well for us when he's been in. So, he's a young, confident kid who has every reason to be. He's, big and strong. I mean, like I said, had a great season in college.
What's the key to handling pressure?
Breaking it, breaking out quick, having tight gaps. And you mean on the ice or you mean in the playoffs? Because I'm thinking of when the team's applying pressure to you, as a team, we can break through it. Handling pressure as individual, like I said before, it's it's different for everybody. We all have different ways of dealing with things, and I think in playoff time, this is a very enjoyable time, and there's a lot of fun, and it's a great opportunity for our team and our guys individually to play well and perform, and I don't think we're losing track of that.
There's a time of year where you shut your phone off completely, like radio silence in terms of friends and family. Like how does that work?
Again, I think everybody's different. I got my parents in town, so we're having dinner. I get in trouble if I'm on my phone anyway. So.
Do they talk to you about the hockey, or do they talk to you about the games?
No, not as much. No.
On and off night, would you watch the games last night? And can you draw inspiration from all the teams that kind of nodded their series that won?
I think so. I mean, I don't think you're drawing inspiration, but I put the games on because again, this time of year is fun, and it's more intense. There's that more. There's that much more at stake, and everything's a little bit more important. So I put the games on. I'm not a guy who always has hockey on in the background, but last night we put on the the Bruins game in the background, and we were cooking dinner, and it's just a cool environment to be in. It's a cool space to be in right now for all our guys, and I think for me personally, I feel the excitement, and it's an awesome time of year to be playing, and being involved in the playoffs is always special.
How do you feel the team's responding from game one?
Still feels like the same team. We've had good day of practice yesterday. Feel good about the group today. It's just that's the beauty of a playoff series, is that you get the same team in game 2 and you get to respond pretty quickly.
How big of a loss is Michael Bunting?
He's big. He's he brings an element to our team that not many guys bring, and he's been a staple in our lineup for the last 2 years. He fits in really well with those top guys, and we're going to miss him, and other guys are going to have to step up.
What do you think of the length of this suspension?
It's not really for me to say.
On a personal level, how do you get ready for a game? How do you make sure you start well?
I think everyone has their own routines, and we play 82 games, so you can kind of dial it in pretty good, and you're not doing anything too different that you wouldn't do on a normal game day, but it's just about focusing on yourself, on your preparation and your routine, and we do it 82 times a year, so we should be ready to go for another one tonight.
Is it fair to say you know the most about moving up and down the lineup, different positions, that you feel most comfortable in changing as much as you have?
I don't know if I know the most, but I've grown accustomed to it, and I think lots of guys on this team have been in those situations where they're moving and playing different roles, so we're all used to it at this point and ready to go.
What's your sense of how Sammy took that loss, and what have you noticed about his ability to bounce back after he's had a bad game this year?
Really, really good, really impressive. I think that doesn't seem like it's phased him too much at all, and he seems like the same guy. Came in with a great attitude yesterday, and he's a guy that I don't think we're concerned about at all, and he's going to be the same goalie that he's been the whole year.
Chernak out, Hedman not 100%. How do you take advantage of that?
Well, we want to do the same things, but stressing their decor is important. Putting pucks in, being able to retrieve them, apply pressure, not allow them to have an easy night, not allow them to break out easy, get some momentum going in transition, just making it more difficult on them than we did in game 1.
What adjustments are you looking for in the penalty kill?
Well, I think the first thing is staying out of the box. We took way too many penalties, got them feeling good about themselves in a rhythm, rolling, and a 5-minute like that, obviously, it helps when you see one go in early, but we talked about some things internally. They're a dangerous unit. They're going to get their looks, but the biggest thing is just staying out of the box and limiting their chances.
Alex, you guys are always focused on the ice all the time. When it comes to friends and family this time of year, are you shutting the phone off, or is there a small circle of people you stay in touch with? How does that sort of play out?
No, I don't ice my family for 2 weeks or 2 months or anything, whatever it is. So no, I think it's kind of business as usual. I have my parents are in town for the games, so I see them now just as I would during the year if they come in, that type of thing. But you're hyper focused on what you're doing. But for me, I don't change things up too much.
Do they talk to you about hockey, your parents? Or do they keep the conversations?
They do, yeah. They come to the games, they watch all the games. They're huge Leafs fans now, so they're as invested in this playoff run as anyone is. So we're always talking hockey, but it's nice on days off to kind of just get away from the game as well.
How do you handle pressure? What's your kind of approach to that?
I think that everyone handles it differently, but for me, I think that you just try and keep things as normal as you can. Try and stick with the stuff that's got you here, and not trying to build anything up to be too big. I think that if you can keep everything as normal as you can, then that helps me.
Ryan, what sort of sense do you get from the group coming off the game on loss, getting ready for this one?
I think we're focused. Obviously, I put that one behind us. It wasn't what we wanted, but we're ready to go for tonight. It's going to be another tough challenge, but we need a good response.
How do you feel like you can make it harder on the Lightning tonight than the other night?
Obviously the physicality has to be better by us, and that's everyone too. Reviewing the game and such, there's plenty of times where we weren't as physical as we need to be, especially against them. We got to wear their top guys down, and them in general. We just have to be more physical, and that's just the little commitments. It's stepping in guys' ways. It's getting a touch every chance we can.
What does this group lose without having Michael in the lineup, especially the playoff series?
Yeah, it's tough. It's obviously a big loss for us. The things he provides, his energy, the way he is out there, obviously he can make plays and goes to the net hard, and just, he can be a pest out there. You can see he just always brings that energy for us. So it's a tough loss, but we do have great depth, and that's a real strong suit for us, and we have guys that can step up.
Three games. Were you surprised by that, especially through the playoffs?
I don't want to talk too much about that. It is what it is. Obviously we'll miss him for those games, but that's just what's been decided, and we just have to keep moving forward.
Do you have any words of wisdom for Matthew Nice tonight?
We've talked a little bit. I think again it's one of the few games, first playoff experience, and one thing it's enjoying it, but again trusting himself. He's a phenomenal player, and he's just got to lean into that. And obviously as the game progresses, I'm sure we'll be communicating as best we can.
What do you remember about your first Stanley Cup playoff game?
Gosh, it was it was pretty memorable. I remember it was in San Jose, and just like the first walk into the tunnel. It's the loudest building I've ever played in, and it was just a whole eye-opening. But then you soon had to get dialed in and get ready for it. But it is different. It's playoff hockey is a whole different animal.
You are one of the great clutch players, recent memory. What's your secret to dealing with pressure?
Well, I think just enjoying it. I think when the higher the stakes are, the things you have to pay more attention to the detail, and that's the fun thing about it. That's why playoff is, hockey is the way it is, and that intensity is because of that pressure, and you have to enjoy it. You have to kind of go into it and accept it and have fun with it.
Do you have any secret to starting well? Like, how do you get yourself ready for the puck?
I think every guy is different. For me personally, I have my own little things that, again, I don't want to take up too much of your time here going through everything, we'll keep it quick. But
okay.
We all have our own things that we like to do. But like as a group, we have to be focused. We have to be saying the right things, and we need a response. And again, just kind of similar to before, it's we got to be prepared for the details of the game. If we do that and get engaged that way, the rest will come.
Chernak out, Hedman's probably not 100% even if he does play. Like, how much does that change the dynamic of this series?
It's still obviously, with or without them, they're a strong team, and like I said, they are a little banged up on their back end. We talked about we have to be physical on them. We have to make it hard. We can't give them any free looks or free touches. We have to be hard on them and go from there.
Matt's struggling with the traffic in Toronto. Says it stinks. Have you figured it out?
I have not. You never know. It's you're either showing up 30 minutes early, 30 minutes late. You can't really figure it out, but it's different though.
You guys up the physicality tonight. Like, what sort of impact do you think that's going to have?
Yeah, obviously, I don't think both ways it was a typical start of a series as far as physicality. Obviously expect the intensity to go up here, as the series gets going, and I think both teams are probably going to try to up that.
As a former teammate of Eric Chernak, what do they lose when they don't have him in the lineup?
Yeah, obviously he's been steady there for a few years now. He's logs a ton of PK minutes. He's pretty good in front of the net, and he gets a lot of the top matchups. So he's a key piece to them back there, and obviously hope he's okay.
The Lightning, they don't lose 2 in a row in the playoffs often. Is there anything that you picked up from what they did that can be transferable to how you guys should approach tonight's game?
Well, I just think that they were, they controlled a lot of the hard areas, and that's obviously corners and boards in front of the net. Typically in playoffs, most goals are, obviously special teams is a huge part of it too, but most goals are scored and games are won and lost in the hard areas, and they were obviously a lot better than that than we were last game.
Michael Bunting's a playoff type player. What do you guys lose with that kind of sandpaper out of the lineup?
Yeah, you said it. That's the sandpaper, the grit. Those are the type of guys obviously you want. In your lineup come playoff time, guys are, hard and go to the front of the net and, have a little edge to their game and in the corners and that sort of thing. So obviously it's a tough loss for us. You respect the decision that the player's safety made, and obviously I don't think it was anyone's intent to get hurt there. Obviously it was just an unfortunate play, and we'll have to fill the void here, and guys will get an opportunity to step up, and on the other side of it too, obviously, you hope that Cherney's going to be okay.
Victor Hedman is a game time decision. From what you've known of him, how would you kind of describe his ability to play through kind of pain? Like, are you still expecting him to be a good force if he's in there?
Well, I mean, I don't know what the injury is. Maybe you guys do, but I don't know. I mean, so yeah, it's. Do guys play through pain in the playoffs? Yeah, of course. I mean, is he one of the guys that has in the past? Certainly. I mean, you don't go that deep without playing through stuff. I mean, guys are that's typically the busiest time of the busiest room in the whole entire dressing room is the trainer's room when you're in playoffs. So I mean, when you have long runs, yeah, guys are banged up. But I have no idea what his injury is. So my guess is he'll try to give it a go.
Sheldon, Ryan talked about enjoying these moments, when the pressure's on in playoff time. As a guy that's won a cup, what's your approach when you have a moment like tonight where you hopefully want to tie this series?
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, obviously you want to be in the moment. You don't want to look too far ahead and think of possible outcomes. I think one of the biggest things that's I found helpful is just enjoy the process and worry about the process, and eventually you'll get results. But I mean, when you're kind of nervous, or you play with a little bit of fear, or just half a step off, you play in your heels a little bit, that's typically when things go, you look a little off, you look a little slow, you don't connect on plays, and when you're not moving your feet, you don't get the physicality. So just everything adds up. So I think be in the moment, play on your toes, and focus on the process, and know that we're gonna have to have a lot better effort tonight, and we're obviously that's an experienced team that knows that they're gonna have to have one too. So it's gonna be like I said, a tough game again.
On a personal level, how do you get ready to start games? How do you make sure that you're ready to go? How long do you got? There's a checklist of things. I mean, you don't really ever stop preparing. I feel like as soon as you finish the game, I mean, you're thinking about the next game. You're preparing for the next one. There's you look at your video, you take care of your body, and obviously mentally, I've learned over the years is a huge part of it too. So you're always trying to figure out ways to stay in it, stay present. Like I said, sometimes if you focus on mistakes in the past or what ifs in the future, it's typically not very good for the present. So yeah, there's a checklist of things that I typically go back to, and luckily enough to have some experience to go back to that sort of thing.
Matt Nye is expected to make his playoff debut. How much nerves do you think he's going through? Do you remember what you went through with your first playoff?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the last 1-2 weeks have probably been a complete whirlwind for him. Coming out of college and signing his first pro contract. Most guys probably play a preseason game or have a couple games in the minors, and he's stepping right into the fire at the end of the regular season, and obviously no playoff game. So not many guys get that opportunity. I think it's a great opportunity for him. I'm sure his family and parents, everyone are pretty proud. I think he mentioned his parents are here tonight. So it's just it's an exciting time. He played really good for us at the end too. He doesn't look like a guy that just came out of college. He's obviously a bigger body, and he's got some hands. He's pretty good at protecting the puck down low, and obviously he's not here to just be here. He's going to be a contributor, and obviously he's a heck of a player. We're lucky to have him. Awesome.
Sheldon, what did you think of the length of Mike Bunting's suspension?
Well, I knew he was going to get something, and that's what the league decided, so we'll press on.
How do you think it will affect your trust in him when he gets back into the lineup?
I know Michael Bunting as well as anyone, so I don't have an issue in terms of trusting him when it comes to that. He's got no history of such things.
Outside of a better start tonight, what's the biggest thing you're looking to change with your group?
Just our mindset. It's we weren't ourselves the other night, and obviously need to get back to that. It was surprising in a lot of ways. How we started is we hadn't been playing that way at all. We've been playing really good. To me, we've been playing a brand of hockey that would give us a chance at success in the playoffs, no matter who we were playing. And that didn't roll into the playoffs. And so we need to get back to that tonight, clearly.
You know, the line structure they had yesterday at practice, then, Sheldon?
Yes.
What do guys like Luke and Ryan who've been to the Valley, what do they do for your group at a time like this?
Yeah, they're helpful. I mean, whether they've been through the battle or not, just their personalities and stuff are helpful. But, we've got a lot of guys that have been through a lot here. Maybe it's not, in the cases of our core and stuff that's been here, obviously it's not deep into the playoffs, but we've been through lots. But we've got other guys too, like Yard Croc's played a lot and, deep into the playoffs, the Chargers. So we've got a lot of guys that have been through these situations. Gio's been around a really long time. But our team, all the way through has has been through a lot. So we know enough that you need a response here tonight. But you have an opportunity to do that. That's what the playoffs are about. You don't get many opportunities to respond, but you certainly have one here tonight.
This is another new experience for Matthew Knies. What's the message for him in his approach to dealing with what will be probably most pressure he's probably dealt with in?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, a guy coming in, I don't think there's any pressure on him. He's not expected to come out here and save the world. If you want to talk about pressure, he's a top guy playing for a national championship in front of 19,000 people there for something that he's growing there and been a part of, and he's the key guy. He's just coming in here to just do his part, and that's really it. Just go out and compete. And he had done well in the games he's played for us, but he's played in pressure situations before. This is not one of them. It's a different situation. It's a challenging situation, but I mean, he's got no pressure.
Cernak out, maybe Hedman is questionable here. How can you take advantage of a depleted D-core on their side?
Well, regardless of who's in or out, the plan remains the same as what it's been going into the series. And that's just kind of the name of the game, is you want to put miles on the other team's defense and spend as much time as you can in the offensive zone and beyond the puck and all those kind of things. That's what we had talked about coming into the series, and I suspect they're talking about the same thing on the other side. That's the nature of the game. So certainly that would be the plan here once again.
Sheldon, what's your philosophy all your years of coaching of chasing matchups versus making sure you don't lose some of your top guys in rhythm? I'm not saying that after game one, but in general, like when you're cognizant of who you want out there at the same time, make sure your guys get their minutes.
Yeah, I think the approach changes as your team changes and who you've got in your lineup and things like that. I think our team has evolved a lot since, in my time here, as we've gone through it. We're far deeper. So I think that gives me the ability, especially on D-zone faceoffs and such. We've relied on Camp a lot in those situations, and he's done extremely well for us there. That line obviously was disappointing the other night because they had played so well, and you come to rely on them, and it doesn't work out the way that it had for us. So that's another thing that you have to adjust to, because you're relying on them, so you're putting them in that situation they've been in really all season long. So yeah, I mean, matchups are important, but the flow of the game really is really what it's about. You're trying to get your team into the rhythm that they're comfortable in and that they've been in all season long, most importantly. But I think our team now is deeper than it's ever been as we go through it here in terms of what we can expect, whether that's when you play John and O'Reilly on different lines and you got those extra depth at center. But even if it's a Chari or Camp, I mean, we've got extra guys there that can have the ability to take on anybody. Yet it didn't happen the other night. So then all of a sudden your rhythm is thrown off in terms of how you played and how your team is built. So we just need everybody to play better, and then everything can fall into place.
Your penalty kill numbers got skewered, obviously, in the last game, but that sequence for you guys, blocked at 3 heavy shots, very encouraging for you?
You know what? Yeah, listen, the penalty kill numbers are a mess. You give up way too many, but there are some good things inside of that. We get a good kill early in the first period, their first kill of the game, and we get through that. So, you're sort of keeping your head above water in the game. At 3-1 in the second period, we get a penalty kill, and that gives us a chance to make it through 3-2, and looks like we have hope to come back in the game. Then, obviously, as the penalties pile up and then the goals start to pile up too. So that's we took too many. B, you've got to get through the kills. We get through the first 2 minutes of the 5-minute major without issue. We kill the 5-on-3, without issue, and they score as we're coming out of the box. So the guys did good things inside of what was obviously not a good night. So we got to embrace the things that we did really well, reduce the amount of penalties we take, and eliminate mistakes.
How do you coach discipline? Because they've all said that, right? So you know it. Do you do video work? Like, do you repeat it? Like, how do you coach discipline?
Yeah, difficult thing. And the discipline, I mean, you can look at it many different ways, right? I mean, to me, there's discipline that's after the whistle and you're engaging in things that you shouldn't, and to me, that's clearly undisciplined and you're getting distracted or lose focus. Things that happen over the course of play, sometimes there's retaliatory things. That's what to me is undisciplined. I look at some of the penalties that we took, in the first period. McCabe gets a high stick. To me, that's undisciplined in the sense that you're not controlling your stick. Brody loses body positioning and then gets a hole like that's like this. So there's all sorts of different ways to interpret it. To me, the bunting play is well intentioned in the sense that he's trying to engage to win the line. He's expecting a physical confrontation with a defender that's as physical as anybody in the league, and he doesn't meet it. He's probably a little bit early on the engagement, and that we know what the result is. So it's such a fine line, but in terms of how you talk about it, you talk about the importance of it and just being responsible and having controlled emotion. You need to be competitive and you need to be physical and you need to be engaged at all times, yet you've got to really walk that line. Obviously it's a critical part of success in the playoffs.